Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, for wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Daily Dose of Awesome, hosted by Elite Marketing Pro. I am your guest takeover speaker this week. My name is Chef Katrina, and today we are going to talk about the world of blogging, one of my favorite topics actually to talk about. And if you guys are joining us for the first time, definitely give a quick shout out. Let us know that you're here. I see Brandy just popped on. So super excited to have you guys here today and talking about blogging, because truly one of my favorite topics. And I'll have to tell you, I'm really excited more than anything about this awesome shirt that I'm wearing. So for those of you who don't know, this is our shirt that came up for the first time at No Excuses. This was the first time we actually put the EMP logo on a t-shirt. So for those that you don't know, this is actually a very limited edition type t-shirt for those that purchased it at the No Excuses Summit in Vegas. So if you got your hands on this, I'm not sure this is going to be created again, but this was actually what we kind of came up with. My favorite is actually the back. I don't know if you guys can read this. It may seem backwards, but that is what's on the back of the shirt. It may be flipped. But it's awesome. And I see Fernie is joining us. So Fernie, a belated happy birthday. So if you guys have seen Fernie, he's on hanging out with us today. So super excited. So today we're just going to rock out about blogging. One of the big questions I get around this topic a lot is like, when should I start blogging? Typically this is the hardest question to answer, I'll be honest with you. In the world of online marketing, truly getting your blog started for me was the first step I took. I know I talked with a lot of mentors. I had watched a lot of people online. And what really kind of stood out for me was that they are always talking about provide value, provide value, provide value. And when I looked at the longevity of providing value over time, like if I was going to build my brand, the one place I could do it was on my blog. So I had the privilege of being on a conversation this morning. It was fantastic. I actually created, I think, 5 different blogs within like a 3-year period, right? I actually created a blog under this specific topic or theme, ended up, scrapping it, starting all over again, creating a whole new blog, did that one, got kicked off the platform because I didn't know better. I was actually using WordPress.com for those that are curious, because I know that question comes up a lot, like, do I use WordPress.org or WordPress.com? Like, what's the difference? So really quickly to address that comment or concern, yes, we as entrepreneurs highly recommend using WordPress. No, we do not recommend using WordPress.com. The reason for that is WordPress.com is actually a closed platform for bloggers, and they're not a big fan of network marketers or affiliate marketers, because if you're on there too much and you talk about buying and selling, what tends to happen is that they politely send you an email like they did to me and said, you're going to have to remove all your content because it doesn't fit our platform. And by that, I ended up getting kicked over and having to really figure out how to do my own blog. And I had to take on the world of what we call a self-hosted blog. I had to go and buy the domain. I had to go figure out what the heck hosting was and how it all worked. And then I had to virtually figure out how a theme was put on and why it didn't look like the theme I purchased and what was I doing wrong. And oh my gosh, I swear there were times I was more frustrated with blogging than not. And that's pretty common, just so you're aware. It's a learning curve. I think it's taking a world where we're used to very tangible things like picking up, things and having them in our hand and building houses, right? Like that's what you're really doing, but you're doing it virtually on a website that you don't even know quite how it exists yet. You're not even sure if you're doing it right. I think you guys are all like, yes, I totally get this, right? So this is definitely the world of blogging for all of us. I don't think any of us kind of get into this world and be like, I get this. There's definitely a learning curve. Like, I want this on my blog. I don't know how to put this there. Why doesn't this work? We use terminologies like widgets and crazy things. Like, I don't even understand half the terminology. I feel like I was learning to speak Greek when I first started blogging. So that's pretty normal. So it goes back to the question, it's like, when should you start blogging? And I think really what happens is that in the beginning, we're so new to this. We're trying to learn all these different things that leaders are throwing out at us, right? They're like, oh, you want to be on Facebook. Oh, you want to be doing this, 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 this. And we hear all these different things from marketers that telling us like what we should be doing in the very beginning. But what's funny is when we hear stuff like that, what they're giving you experience on is like looking back, if they were to start over again, this is really what they should have focused on. But the reality is, as a network marketer and as somebody that's trying to learn the world of internet marketing, those two don't always quite collide correctly. So have a little patience with yourself as you're learning this. This is definitely a unique process, and be willing to go through the bumps, the ups, the downs. And if you're really frustrated by it, you can always hire out. End of the day, that's always an option too. But learning and understanding how a blog works definitely is going to pay off. So when should you start blogging? You know what? I think the best time to start blogging is if you are answering the same question over and over again. What I've come to find over time is that if I'm answering the same question over and over again, that deserves to be made into a blog post. Because it's at that point that I can probably create some longevity around that. And I know more people are going to ask me, so now I have something to direct them to. And I think that's going to be like the number one reason is like, when should you start blogging? Start blogging when you start finding yourself repeating the answer to the same questions. I think that's a good place to start. Another thing I really like for those that are coming and looking at us new for Elite Marketing Pro, one of the things I love about the Elite Marketing Pro system is that they do have a done with you blog. And what I mean by that is that we've created the platform. We've actually are hosting it on a WordPress platform. We've chosen the theme for you that is most adaptable for what you're up to in your business. So as a network marketer, it gives you the options for marketing your business. So capture pages, lead magnet, things that you may not know or need right now, but it's your building block, right? It's something for you to grow into. And that's what I really love about this. So we have a done kind of with you blog set up. So what that means is that I've put together the bare bones around it. So Elite Marketing Pros put together the bare bones. And then what we do is we go and we walk you through the training of how to create your blog post, how to create a capture page, right? And that is the process we take you through. And I love about using the Page Creator Pro that we've offered for you guys is that this is your training wheels. This is actually the place where you can be the most afraid, the most freaked out, the most, I'm going to get this wrong, and be in a safe place to do it. Because when you're on here, this is where you're going to learn. Like, we are giving you this tool so that you can learn it, right? At the end of the day, it's not going to be your end blog. You're probably going to, as many of our Fast Track members know, we're going to move you to over a self-hosted site where you're going to be responsible for your online real estate, right? But what I love about the Page Creator Pro site is that you have it as a member of Elite Marketing Pro. So whether you're a monthly, an annual VIP member, that's where you're going to start, right? This is your training ground. You're not going to get it perfect right out the gate. It's not going to be pretty. And that's okay, right? Like, that is perfectly okay. Really what we want to get you into the habit of is writing content, learning how to embed videos, learning the lingo and the language right around what it is to be blogging, right? So when should you start blogging? Really, when it's uncomfortable. That's truly when you're going to have the most fun around this one. What should you be blogging about? And I touched on that a little bit. Like, when you ask questions and when you get asked the same question over and over again, blog about it. I cheated a lot. I have a horrible memory, and especially when I first got started, I couldn't remember half the stuff I was learning because I was trying to take it in so fast. So what I would end up doing is actually write blog posts to myself to remind me how I did something. So if I was learning something new about blogging, like how to install a theme, I would actually write a blog post about how to install a theme to remind myself how to do it if I ever needed to do it again. I would literally write blog posts to myself as reminders of what I should be doing or what I've forgotten. And it came in really handy, I'll tell you guys, as I was building my team. It came in really handy later on as people would come in like, okay, so how did you do that? And I'm like, you know what? I don't remember, but let me go find the blog post. and then I would share the blog post that had the video that would then share with them how to do it. So a lot of the times it was my own reminder to myself of like how far I've come in what I've learned online. And people always love how-to videos. I think that's probably one of the most searched things on the internet is how to do something. So creating a blog post on like how-to-dos was a big one, especially in the network marketing space, right? Because how do you talk to people? Like if you've made mistakes, like you can talk about, you know, how do you not do this in the next time? Like what was the response? What did I get? So I kind of use my blog as a reminder to myself on what I should be doing in my business. It worked out really well in the long run. Also, another thing too is once you create content, really, I love this. I get this from you guys a lot. It's like, well, nobody's seeing my content. I'm not getting any engagement. So here's a little thing you need to know in the beginning is that when you write content, typically nobody's going to see it. Sorry, it's true and it's a reality because you're just getting started. One of the things that you can do to kind of speed the process along is that nobody likes to be the first. This is weird around blogging. I'll tell you this right now. Nobody likes to be the first one to share a blog post, right? I don't know what it is, but I swear I've seen it over and over again. What I will tell you is that when you share a blog post, the first person that should share your blog post is actually you. So when you publish your blog post, my recommendation is actually for you to go through all the social media side comments. Like if you've got Facebook and Twitter and whatever you have for social media to share, you actually be the first one to share your content. Because when people see that there's other people sharing, it somehow frees them up to know that they can share it also. Like, oh, one person already shared it. I mean, it for some reason, it like gives permission. I'm not sure exactly why that is in our brains, but it gives us permission. It's like, oh, well, if somebody shared it, then I can share it too. And what you'll find is that people will then start sharing your content because they see that someone has shared it ahead of time. It's the weirdest thing, I promise you guys, but it's absolutely true. If you want people to share your content, you have to be the first one to share it. And the best thing you can do is share it to your own social media. And I'm glad that everybody's on here. And I see you guys going, this is really interesting. So that is one thing to do, right? When you create your blog post, be the first to share it. It gets things going. It gets people engaged around it. So definitely one of the first things I recommend doing. And what to do when nobody's watching or reading your blog. I feel like this is a big one, a lot, like, right? So we start blogging and we're like, we get, you know, almost no traffic. No one seems to be commenting on our blog. Nobody seems to be sharing our blog. Should you keep blogging? Like, is anybody even watching you? And I will tell you this, more people watch within the first year of somebody taking on something before they ever actually take action and communicate. I cannot tell you how many times after a year worth of blogging that I would have somebody reach out to me and be like, well, I've been watching and reading your blog for a long time. I've never seen them comment. I've never seen them share it. And yet they're sitting there telling me it's like great content, right? So it is the funniest thing about people. They watch and they just kind of observe you for a very long time, or whenever they're ready to take the actions when they reach out to you. But they definitely want to see the value you provide over time. So stay engaged around your blog. When nobody's watching is really the time to stay engaged with your blog, to continue writing, to continue putting it out there, because of the fact that blogging is a long-term strategy, right? Typically in the beginning, nobody is really doing anything, but they're going to engage with you in the long run. Most people don't see your first blog post anyway, so your first 10 to 20 blog posts typically disappear inside your blog as you kind of keep moving forward. So don't worry about your first blog being perfect and what you're saying in there. Really just the idea of getting started. I get that a lot. It's like, what should my first blog post be? Whatever you want, right? Whatever you feel is going to provide value to your reader. Like the how-to videos are really the best ones. That's, I think, how I got started to make it easy on myself, was to create the how-to video. And it was the first one I put out there, but it was the easiest one to get started. And then from there, I just kind of continued sharing how-tos, what was going on, my impressions around what I was learning inside of Elite Marketing Pro, products that I really got engaged around for like education and training, books I was reading. I love doing book reviews, right? Like, why would you recommend this book for people to read? So that all kind of really played into it. So when you feel like nobody's watching your blog, that's the time to be, first off, sharing your own content out to your social media sites. That's really important. And the second thing I typically see people do on blogs that you're like, well, no one's responding, nobody's engaging, nobody's commenting, is that typically we forget to give them a call to action. We have to let people know what we want them to do. Shockingly enough, and many of you guys say it all the time, it's like, I need direction, I need a roadmap, I need to know what I need to do next. Same goes for a blog. So if you write content, or even if you're doing a video, give a call to action, or otherwise known as a CTA. You'll hear that a lot. It's a good little acronym for you guys. CTA is a call to action. So have that. Like, if you want people to comment, ask them, hey guys, if you got value out of this, go ahead and comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. I'll reply within usually 24 hours, right? So let them know that not only are they going to be putting a comment down below, that you're going to respond to it, right? Let them know there's going to be something there for them at the end of the rainbow for this. But typically call to actions are where, like, if you want people to share it, tell people to go out and share it on their social media site, right? If they're a fan of yours already, tell them to tag you on the social media so that you know that it's out there, that you know that they're sharing it. So these are all little things you can do. So when you feel like no one's watching, you've got to make sure, A, you're requesting the action that you want them to take. And guess what? Not everybody's going to take it. And you just got to keep moving forward. Like, this is all about what you're building for yourself. And look at it as though you're training and educating yourself first through your blog. You're writing content that you find valuable. And that's really where you're going to look when we're talking about, when should I start blogging? What should I blog about? How should I share it? And what to do when no one's watching, right? We covered all of that. And really, I am super impressed for those of you that are taking action around creating your blog. You're creating a legacy, right? It is truly the one form of content on social media that lives beyond you. It's the basis of your legacy online. So when you have your blog post, you're saying, hey, I have value and I have something to teach you. And if in 6 months, 6 years down the road, that content still lives on the web, and it allows you to continue being found, continue to be engaged with. And I've got blog posts, and EMP's got blog posts that we've written that still get us leads and make, sales every single day, because the content is just there. It's never going to go away, and it's something people can search and find online. So that is my big tips around blogging with you guys today. Have fun with it. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it's very technical, coming from a kitchen, trust me. Virtual world of blogging and setting up a page and all this crazy stuff. It definitely took me some time to learn, and give yourself time to learn it, right? It's not going to happen overnight, but I promise you that the moment you start investing in your education and you take on blogging and you invest inside of Elite Marketing Pro, I highly recommend, if you haven't already, for those that are watching this or those that are new here and you guys are sharing out this video, we talk about this inside of the Attraction Marketing Formula. This is actually part of the 10-day bootcamp, is how do you build your brand authority so that people want to join you in your network marketing business. And this is just literally one element of what's inside the Attraction Marketing Formula. So if you haven't gotten your hands on this 10-day bootcamp yet, I highly recommend grabbing this 10-day bootcamp. It'll be emailed to you over the next 10 days. It is going to be one of the most amazing trainings you're going to get your hands on. And I invite you to also to pick up the ebook Attraction Marketing Formula. Really lays out the whole entire groundwork of what you're doing as a network marketer online to build your business. So thank you guys for joining me in this daily dose of awesome. I'm a little bit over time. Thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you guys all having a beautiful day, and we'll see you inside the community. Bye guys. Ooh, gotta find the end button. All right.